Greetings. I'm going to try holding it like this. This looks weird though. This looks weird. Or did I hold it like this? All right. Well, today I want to talk about how to recover from being a people pleaser. Now, I've been a people pleaser most of my life, still working on it. And it really is as simple as deciding this isn't going to be me anymore. I'm not going to do this. This isn't me. I don't like this. Right? Because the reason we're people pleasers is because we want people to like us. And the reason why we want people to like us is so that they're not like mad at us, so there's not some negative reaction on their part. Right? We think if I can please people, make them happy, then I can basically like buy their love. We can purchase their affection, their attention, goodwill. And I mean, for one, it doesn't work. That's the first thing. It doesn't work. And honestly, if anything, that should be the biggest reason to not be a people pleaser, is that it doesn't work. When you realize in and of itself, it is a form of manipulation, right? And I think it's very, I want to say well-earned, but it makes sense why we're people pleasers, right? Like most of the time, like everything, it stems from childhood. Right. In my case, I had a very controlling mother who could be on the narcissistic scale. I don't know, or borderline. It doesn't matter. But as a child, very early on, I was aware that her mood could fluctuate quite greatly. And if I did or said anything that upset her or triggered her or bothered her or that she didn't like, I would pay for it. Now, I guess you could say, fortunately, my mom never like yelled really at us. She wasn't like violent, but she would do the cold shoulder, right? She gave me the silent treatment. She'd get upset, she would go mute and like storm off to her room and slam the door. And I'm like, what did I do? What did I say? Oh no, my mom hates me. And as we all know by now, in just basic human psychology, a child is incredibly vulnerable, right? Like literally, if a small child, like I'm talking infant to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Like they're at the mercy of the parents. And I think it's very hard coded in our DNA to understand that as a child, we are so vulnerable. We will literally die without our caregivers, our parents, parenting us, protecting us, feeding us, clothing us, sheltering us, right? We're quite helpless at a very young age, right? And we can argue about when that ends, it doesn't matter, right? But the point is, from very early on, a child, a baby even, understands that they are not safe around their primary caregiver, right? If there's any kind of fluctuation with their mood, their energy, the emotions, like babies are very in tune emotionally and I think energetically with the people around them, right? Like you look at kids, they're always staring like at your face, right? Like they are reading everything and picking up on every little change, right? Every little micro expression, every little shift. And they note it, they clock it. And you see if a parent is either emotionally immature, they haven't healed, they haven't dealt with their own shit, or they're on a dark triad or cluster B, cluster fucks. If they're on any of those spectrums, I mean, you're kind of screwed as a kid, right? And that hardwires you. Okay, this is what I'm getting at. It hardwires you very early on to tiptoe around, walking on eggshells, and always be very attuned to your primary caregiver, usually your mom or your dad, right? I'm just going to say mom and dad, or even just mom, because hello. But yeah, I mean, you just learned very early on to constantly kind of keep little tabs on them, right? Like I could always tell growing up, I could be in my room upstairs And I could tell by the way my mom was stomping around downstairs. We had a very old house. The walls were very thin. I could hear the voice. I could hear things. I could hear everything coming from like the living room area. But yeah, I could tell from her footsteps if she was upset or not. And it really was like, okay, let's stay in my room. It's safe in here. Lock the door. Hopefully she leaves me alone. Right? I would definitely not go down and looking for anything. I would not even go get a snack if I was hungry because I feared her potential wrath so much. Right? Like, even if it had nothing to do with me, like, she could just be in a bad mood that day and have a bad day at work. It doesn't matter. Right? And if I dared to come downstairs and make a bowl of cereal and was making too much noise in the kitchen, she would come stomping out or yell and be like, "Be quiet in there." You know, like, just she'll find a reason. She'd come in the kitchen. I'm minding my own business. I'm minding my own business. And she would say something. She would remark on something. Like, I was always on pins and needles, like always hyper vigilant. Okay, so that's the key word. It was hyper vigilant. We learned very early on to constantly be aware of our surroundings, be aware of other people, and from our mom, our caregiver, our dad, whoever raised us, it kind of got imprinted on us to always be on guard and to manage other people's emotions. We were taught it was our responsibility to make sure everyone else around us was happy because we learned if they're not happy, then bad things happen to us. Okay, and that gets very deeply encoded. It's very hard to break that. The good news is that you can. It's very possible. It takes a lot of time, and it's hard, and it's a lot of commitment. It's not going to happen overnight, but if you're committed to breaking that curse and taking steps towards that freedom, stay tuned. Because it's possible. I did it. Lots of people did it. Lots of people are doing it. So why not you? So the first step is obviously recognizing that you have this problem. First step is awareness. And now that we're aware that we're people pleasers, I mean, you can argue, yes, therapy, journaling, all the self-care, all that's very basic. We should all probably be doing that, especially us. I see you. And I'm assuming you all have done a lot of that preliminary work to healing, because that's a big part of it, right? Is our upbringing, our fucked up childhoods, right? And people don't realize how much that impacts someone for life, right? Like, there's always, that's the thing. Like, I don't really believe, I mean, I could be wrong. I'm sure there's a person or two out there, but I personally don't really believe that you can ever 100% get over this kind of stuff. Like, there's always going to be a remnant. There's always going to be a little part of you inside that is like uncomfortable not being a people pleaser, because that's comfort. That's familiar. That's, again, it's baked in from birth, basically. So I think the best analogy is like getting braces for your teeth. Has anyone ever done that? I have, back in the fucking 90s or whatever, when it was like braces, like actual braces with metal and rubber bands. Do they still do that, or is it all Invisalign? I don't know. I wish I had Invisalign back then, but it was braces, right? And I had crooked teeth. They were like pushed out and had a gap. You know, I hated them. So finally, when I was like 9 or 10, they got me braces. You know, the whole process sucked, right? It's awkward. You look weird. Fine, whatever. But I have beautiful straight teeth now. Yay, it's worth it. But yeah, so if you know anything about teeth and braces, the idea is your teeth, you know, it's in the DNA of how your teeth form and the shape they are, right? Like, people they're born with crooked teeth, and they have crooked teeth their entire life unless they do something about it, right? Get braces. So the braces literally brace and push in the teeth into the right position slowly over time. Otherwise it would hurt and they would break right off, right? And it's over 2 years, usually a year or two. And they just slowly push them back where they should be, I guess. And the thing is, though, these teeth, it's in your DNA for them to be the way they were. So again, if you've had braces, you understand, after they get taken off, you have to wear what's called a retainer. And you have to wear this retainer for life. Because if you don't, those little teethies are just going to go right back to where they were, because they're just like bent towards it. It's in their DNA to just kind of go back to that position. So you have to actively keep them in place. Okay, so it's the same thing, right? Like, and that's what we're doing. We are putting braces on and reshaping ourselves. And once we are that way, it's always going to be a little bit extra work to keep that way. It's so easy to backslide back into people-pleasing ways, all right? So we're trying to avoid that. All right, so just so you know, it's a never-ending journey. I hate to break it to you. It's not one and done. You don't heal from being a people-pleaser and then move on like nothing ever happened. Like, no, this is a part of you. And that's okay. It's a part of you, and it's not working for you, so you're adjusting it. That's fine. It's just going to take a little extra work to stay at a healthier level. And some days will be better than others, okay? Like, you're not going to be 100% not a people pleaser every single day. Right? You're going to have days where you just kind of give in and you just kind of do it. Maybe consciously you're like, fine, whatever, I'll just be a people pleaser right now. But I think the point is to be more aware and to strive to do better for yourself. Your experience is what matters. What you're feeling, what you're thinking. Are you content? Are you at peace? Or are you anxious? Right? Is your mind racing? Is your heart pounding? Are you worried about the future or depressed about the past? And this is where we get really a little bit more Zen and Buddhism. Just the present, the now. And again, I'm not the first person to say this. This has been said by many, many people, many, many times. I'm just reiterating it to the purpose of people pleasing and recovering from it. Okay, so just when we're all on the same page, the most important thing is your individual moment-to-moment experience. That means that we should strive to make our moment-to-moment experience, our experience of the now, not just as pleasant as possible, but as fulfilling as possible, as grounded as possible, as happy, as peaceful, as content as possible. Right? Again, it doesn't matter if you're in a nice car, if you're depressed. So the way this ties into being a people pleaser is that when you people please, you're really not making anyone happy. You're really not pleasing anyone, least of all yourself. Right? So it really kind of just flips the script on making sure other people are happy and making sure yourself is happy. And again, the disclaimer is obviously nothing that would harm other people or be a detriment to society. Like, again, that's all kind of everything consensual, adults, do no harm, that kind of shit. Okay, we're not talking about if you're a murderer and it makes you happy to kill people. No, we're not talking about that. Okay, obviously lawful, moral, ethical. Okay? So I don't want to hear it. No, that's very nuanced. Okay, that's the idea is we're talking about very baseline stuff here. Okay. And I think there's a guilt associated with putting yourself first. It feels very unnatural. It feels wrong. It feels morally wrong. Like you're bad, you're sinful, you're evil, you're selfish. And I assure you, it's okay to be selfish. This is your life. And I think that's the point, is it's your life. You're the one experiencing it. You're the one who the buck stops with. It's your life. All right? And take responsibility for it. You got one life. Who are you living it for? I find so many people are living their life for others. So now that we established who's the important one in your life, and you have to accept that as a fact, it's okay. You don't have to feel guilty or shame. It's your life. You're the one living it. Moment to moment. It's you. So try to have some empathy for yourself. I feel like a lot of us people pleasers are also highly sensitive and empathetic towards others. We can put ourselves in their shoes and be like, oh no, that person doesn't have an umbrella in the rain. I'll give them mine. which is nice, but now you don't have an umbrella in the rain, right? It just kind of switches it up. I'm not saying if it's on your heart to do that and you don't care, that's fine, whatever. It's just an example. And I think it's kind of drawing that boundary and saying, you know what? I'm okay with disappointing people. That's the thing. You have to be okay. And that's probably the hardest thing, is risking people not liking you and sitting with what that means about you, or what you think it means, the stories you tell yourself about what it means. Challenge those. All right. Like, I could be like, you know what? I think people don't like me. What does that mean about me? Does it mean that I am unworthy? Does it mean that I am not likable? That I'm a bad person? That I'm annoying or ugly or stupid? There's a lot attached to that. So it's challenging that, sitting with it, allowing it. It's okay if somebody doesn't like you. And I think I had to come to that realization, is that it's not the end of the world if somebody doesn't like me. It's not the end of the world if I disappoint someone. You feel that kind of shame. You feel that guilt, especially if they're very manipulative. And this is the hard part, is you do have to start cutting some of those people off. Like, anyone that pushes your boundaries, doesn't take no for an answer. Because everyone, and this is the tricky part, is if you're a people pleaser, pretty much everyone in your life is accustomed to you being a people pleaser. They're just used to it. You watch your sister's kids every single Friday night, even if you don't want to, or you had other plans, or you wanted to have a date or anything. It's your Friday night. Like, maybe you can watch them a different day. You don't have to watch them. You don't have to do anything. And they just become accustomed to you doing it every single Friday night. And they know you, and they know you'll say yes. Even if they ask last minute, even if they know you have a date, they don't care, because they know you'll say yes. And they'll use that. A lot of people are users and takers. And I think it's very important to not just be aware of that, but actively push against it, like the braces. Okay. And here's the thing too, like, all of this is going to sound really mean, because it is to a people pleaser, but in reality, it's actually not. Okay. It's like opposite ends of the spectrum, right? Like, over here, you got people pleasers who never say no, never stand up for themselves. They're a doormat. People just use them and take, and they never ask for a goddamn thing. Okay. They're so selfless, so humble. They just lie flat and people just walk over them. Okay. And then on the other extreme, you got your selfish assholes, these narcissists who just take, ask, and never do for anyone. We all know someone like that, right? So these extremes, right? Whatever extreme you are, you need to go towards the other one to be balanced, right? So if you're people pleasing, that means you have to start doing selfish things to move the bar. We want to be in the middle, right? Balanced, right? Because again, being totally selfish is not cool either. I'm not advocating for that. But as a people pleaser, hell yes, I am. Because you need to learn to do it. And it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to feel unnatural. And that's okay. Again, this is the Discomfort Academy. Okay, this is where we flourish in uncomfortableness. Yes, get used to it. Get used to it, baby. If you want to grow, it's going to be uncomfortable. Okay? So just do it. Do it, or just watch yourself get smaller and smaller every single year. Watch yourself dissolve under people's expectations. Watch yourself become a shell of your former self, because you don't even know who you are anymore, because you never stand up and say no. Don't do that. Don't lose yourself to the whims of others. No, reclaim yourself. Right? And that's the first part, is boundaries, right? Like, your skin is a clear boundary between you and others, right? My skin encompasses me. This is me, my body, right? I'm in my skin. It's a clear boundary. So start differentiating between what's you and what's others. What is your wants and needs, and what are other people's wants and needs? That takes a lot of sitting quietly, brainstorming, journaling, meditating, talking to a life coach, a therapist, a counselor, your friends, whatever it takes to figure out what you actually like and want. That's step 2. This is step 2? I don't know. I forgot. I lost count. Anyway, we're doing all these things, okay? So figure out who are you and what you really want, what you really like. And it could be super simple, like food, right? Like maybe, you don't like Mexican food, but your family is always making Mexican food or going to restaurants that are Mexican food. And you just kind of go along because, what else they're going to do. But, maybe one day you're like, hey, can we try Italian or get pizza instead or cook at home and do, I don't know, like a Mediterranean or Chinese, anything. Pick a category, whatever you like. You start advocating for yourself. Right? You are all you got. So after you figure out what you want, what you don't want, what you want to do, what you don't want to do, the next thing is to stand by it. And this is where the rubber meets the road and a lot of people start to flounder. Okay, let's take your sister's kids as an example, right? So let's just say for the past 5 years, every single Friday without fail, they expect you to watch them. And I hate to say it, but you kind of train them to, because you keep saying yes, even when you really want to say no. And I believe that doing that, going against your own agency, your own desire, I believe that slowly but surely starts to deteriorate yourself over time. You start to lose yourself. It erodes your soul. Right? Because you can feel it, can't you? And you just feel it inside, this like contraction, right? When your sister says, "Oh, hey, Cindy, can you watch little Bobby and Susie again tomorrow night?" And you feel this like contraction inside. You just, right, in the pit of your stomach, it's like pulling you away from this. And you say, "Yeah, sure, okay." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, Susie, you're the best." And what have they done for you? Do they pay you? Do they give you gifts? Do they treat you to dinner once in a while as a thank you? Probably not. So next time she says, "Hey, Susie, will you watch your niece and nephew this Friday?" Or you can even get ahead of it. Instead of being reactive and waiting till they ask you and they kind of put you on the spot, you can actually reach out to them and say, "Hey, Suzanne, I love you. I love little Bob and whatever the name was. I forgot. I love my little niece and nephews. But I'm not going to be able to watch them as much anymore." And you can word this however you want. You can be like, I can't watch them anymore. Or I can switch days, or it will depend, or I won't be able to watch them as much anymore. It's up to you. It's a spectrum. You can either do it sometimes, do it never, do it once in a while, switch the days. It is up to you. It is all your decision, what you want to do. All right? Because I assume you still love your niece and nephew. You still want to see them, but you just don't appreciate them putting this expectation on you that's going to be every single fucking Friday. And that is taken from you. And you actually don't really want to do it that often or as much or again, it's up to you what you want to do. So that's why you have to figure it out first. Be like, okay, you know what? I will watch my niece and nephew, like one Friday a month. And then some other days too, I'll hang out with them or pick them up or whatever, babysit if you need to go to the doctor or something. Like, yeah, sure, it's a village, right? I'm sure you still want to help out. What we're doing is adjusting the expectation, the guilt tripping, this unspoken rule that it's going to be you every single time. Do you see the difference here? Because more likely than not, they can afford a babysitter. They can ask somebody else. What are the parents doing? What are his parents doing? His brothers and sisters, right? You should have this whole this whole village, right? It's not just you. That's the point too, is it usually rests on the person who takes the most because they accept the most work, right? So don't allow them, right? Like you're like this elephant and they're just like putting timber on your back and you're just standing there letting them. You can walk away. You have agency, you have free will. Unless you're a literal slave, you always have a choice. You always have free will. It may not be liked. You may make some enemies. That's okay, right? Accept it. People aren't going to like you. They're going to be disappointed, and that's okay. It's not the end of the world. You're not going to die. Trust me, you will survive disappointing other people. And kind of with it also comes with valuing yourself more. And again, this is for my people pleasers, not for selfish people. If you're a people pleaser, you need to start putting yourself on a pedestal. I said what I said. Again, people pleasers only. Selfish people already do that to an extent. That's not healthy or good. Put yourself first. What do I want? What do I need? What sounds good to me? If you feel guilty about it, you want to give them a heads up. And this is just the example I'm using. Get ahead of it. Just tell them and say, hey, I really love hanging out with them, blah, blah, blah. I enjoy helping you guys. I know it's hard raising kids, but it's too much. I don't want to do it anymore. Or less, whatever your thing is. You just tell them, hey, it's going to change, and this is what it's going to change to. This is what I am willing to do. This is what I'm happy to do. Right? You want to be a cheerful giver. And again, you can tell inside, you can feel it. When you're giving too much, you can feel it. Listen to that. That's your intuition talking. It is telling you, this is outside what I'm willing to give, what I know I can give. Save some for you. Like, you need to pour back into yourself. But you can't do that if you're pouring into others. So you got to stop. Stop that drainage going off into their cups, right? Cut it off. Or let it just be a dribble. A little dribble. That's fine, whatever. But they don't get the whole gush of water, okay? And you probably will get some pushback. Your sister will probably be like, oh, what, you don't love us anymore? Or, it depends how healthy they are, too. Maybe they just weren't really aware. It just kind of just fell in place that way. I don't think people are really, I think most people are not doing things maliciously. So keep that in mind too. They're not doing it maliciously, more likely than not. They might, I don't know, but let's just assume they're not for simplicity. They're probably just like, oh, Jen is available and she loves hanging out with, they probably are like, oh, she just loves hanging out with them. This is so great. Oh my God. And meanwhile, you're just like exhausted and you're like, where's my Friday night? Right? So start putting you first. Start telling people no. And again, this is a bigger example. I'm admitting that. Start small. If this is like really hard for you, start small. Like very small. Like I'm talking, you're at a restaurant and you're ordering your food. And they put pickles on the burger at the restaurant and you don't like pickles. And normally you would just let them make it with the pickles because you can just pick them off. It's no big deal. Whatever. You do something like that. Just say, waiter, I would like this cheeseburger and I would like to hold the pickles, please. And you can be nice about it. Don't be a bitch about it, right? Just be like, yeah, can you just no pickles, please? Thanks. And the server will be like, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. You got it. And bring your cheeseburger pickle free. Yay. Wow. Right? Didn't know we could do that. So just start doing it with little tiny things. And it's just like working out, right? Like when you first step foot in the gym, you're a gym virgin. You don't start bench pressing 400 pounds, 200 kilograms for my metric people. Something like that. I don't know what the conversion is. Something like that. You just don't start doing that, right? So they start with the bar sometimes. Like I started with the bar. It's 40 pounds. And you start adding little weights, and this takes time, month after month, repetition, repetition, repetition. It's exposure therapy. And you know what? It is going to be uncomfortable. I promise you, it is going to be so uncomfortable, and you're still going to do it. Okay? It works. That's why we're doing it, is because it works. And that's how you stop being a people pleaser. Good luck.